What's going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. So you just saw my video on my life-changing event, getting a new job, making a lot more money. So I've been at the job now for a little bit of time, and so far it's been going really good. I really like the direction of the job. I think it's definitely going to be phenomenal opportunity. But I did want to talk today about what if I can't move into another home for whatever reasons. So let's just say I'm not making quite as much money and financially it's just not going to be possible. And I'm stuck in this house, stuck in this collection setup. So there's also the fact that, dear God, can you imagine me moving all of my statues into a new house that let's say it's 30-minute drive from here? This would take me literally forever. It'd be the most painstaking thing of my life. Just moving one statue collection from one room to another is horrendous. Having to box every one of them up and then, like, Jupiter's freaking cock, it sounds like such a nightmare. So I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I love the idea of a new house, but I don't got anyone to help me. It's just little old Flankster. Wife won't help. I have to carry everything by myself. The only thing I get help with is, like, I guess Sauron and Thanos. Have my brother come help me. Sauron, I don't have the boxes, so he's literally just going to have to carefully put everything on, like, blankets and bubble wrap. Not that it's going to break or anything. Just drive safe in a U-Haul, have tons of blankets and towels, and it'd be fine. Thanos, I do have the box. But I did want to talk about what if we stay in this house. What is the collection plan? Also knowing that I do have more money now, so buying things such as like Infinity Studios, life-size busts, and so forth are easier now than they were before. And I bought a ton in the last 2 years, which is wild. But I did also sell a lot of statues, where now I don't necessarily need to sell to fund the new, but I need to sell to create the space. That's probably the biggest thing. So my number one goal still is to gain access to my upstairs bedroom. So upstairs we have 3 bedrooms. One is our, like, master bedroom for me and the wife. The second is my wife's office room, which frankly she rarely uses. She just works in the living room. And third is the guest bedroom, which historically we had her mom lived with us for many years. She stayed there. Her aunt would visit us from the Philippines. She would stay in there, but her aunt just got her visa revoked because she was tanga, and she's likely never going to come back. So that room really is never going to be used outside of, like, I have my printer in there. I guess if me and the wife were to ever fight and I needed to sleep somewhere outside the bedroom, I have a bed in there. But yeah, so if I just clear out the back part of that room, and I'll probably show you guys here later in the video that room, but I could absolutely fit, like, boom, boom, 3 garage shelves. So in this room in particular, there's not going to be a lot of changes. I mean, I have thought of a few different things, but we're obviously going to get like the Gandalf Ultimate. We're going to get a Gollum bust by Jupe Bongarts. Jupe. And I have considered potentially parting ways with these two to get the Diorama by Waste Studios, which I really like it. However, I'm still just not sure because I really like these, and there's tons of swap outs. I can view the detail better. The diorama, a lot of details blocked due to the pose. You're limited on, there's no swap outs. The base is kind of cool. I also like these bases a lot. That one's also very expensive, so I'm just not sure if I want the Dio. I mean, I do, but I don't know if I'm willing to give up these two. So I can sell this for what? Let's say $4,000 after shipping, $3,500. The diorama with shipping is going to be close to $6,000. And I'm just like, I got to pay like $3,000 to get that basically. So that's a tough one. Plus the way this works, it just does a really good job. Also, if I got the Dio, I would also be tempted to do Pacific Rim in this setup because I've always wanted, like, the Prime 1 Gypsy Danger bust and Gypsy Danger statue. Waste Studios also has some Gypsy Danger stuff, and it would fit down low. But the P1 does fit down low. The bust, the statue, like, imagine how cool that would be. Like, bust and statue, diorama, and I mean, God, yeah, that would be really cool. But those are a few things to consider. We're definitely going to get J&D Daenerys Targaryen as long as the likeness is good, which I'm sure it will be. And honestly, there probably won't be too much more changes in this room. When I think about it, just how happy I am, and I can't add any more shelves. There's definitely a potential possibility of these two, and maybe even Grimlock, going away, and the Avengers 1/6. The main reason would be to get more video game statue space, which is one of my primary needs right now. And if those three were not there, then of course I could throw Gears of War, Laura, Halo, heck, even do video game statues underneath. Halo would fit underneath, but nothing else. In general, I don't like putting any good statues down low just because the angles are so bad. But here's the thing. When I think about it, I'm like, okay, well, Grimlock is definitely better than Laura. And those G.I. Joes are better than Halo and Gears. I'm like, getting rid of higher quality, cooler looking statues for what? I'm like, I'd rather just sell them. Which is a very high possibility. I've still been toying with the idea of selling some MK. That is probably the most likely scenario, is getting rid of the Mortal Kombat. But maybe not MKX, Scorpion, and Sub-Zero. I don't think I can part ways with them. Even if I don't have space, I can't sell them. But I would definitely be able to part ways with all the classics and Baraka, Quan Chi, consolidate MK, and then of course do Wukong Bust, Kratos 1/3, J&D Stellar Blade, Wukong 1/3 as well, and Zubaji. I'm playing actually the game as well right now again, just like casually playing. DBZ, we do have the Goku vs. Vegeta, which I don't have space, but I freaking love it to death. The best spot for it is going to be right there, which would mean lowering Last of Us. Lowering Last of Us is difficult because, again, I mean, we need this space, especially for like Final Fantasy VII, which will need a full garage shelf. So that's why I was considering getting rid of Neo, Gears, Laura, and put Jin Sakai and Bloodborne in that shelf. And then right here you can do Final Fantasy VII. And or you throw Devil May Cry there, lower Resident Evil 2, and do FF7 there. Simply because you have that back white part where you could throw Aerith and Tifa. There's just additional space for right now. All I'm really using it for is the dog, which isn't necessary. You definitely have to move Halo if you're going to lower Last of Us. To put Goku versus Vegeta there. But in general, in this room, we do have to create space for them. And I'm sure there's going to be future video game statues where I'm going to want them. And so this is the hardest room. That's why I'm really trying to gain access to the upstairs bedroom. Because then we could just move Dragon Ball Z upstairs, get extra Dragon Ball Z space. And these two shelves would give me every space I need for the video game stuff. I could keep MK as is. Fit Wukong Bust, Nemesis Bust. You name it, I can definitely fit it. And I'm not going to sell Dragon Ball Z because Dragon Ball Z is one of my greatest loves in life, and I love it to death. So I'm not going to sell it, but I want to move it upstairs and have a DBZ spare bedroom. I'd be tempted to get a life-size DBZ up there as well. I ain't going to lie. I might pick up like a life-size Vegeta. Like a little gizmo. Yeah, in terms of this room, like even in the new home, there probably isn't a ton of Marvel and DC I would get. I ain't gonna lie, I am tempted on a 1/3 Avengers line. You have the Queen Mark 7, Queen Hulk. There's been a custom Trinity, but that one looks terrible, honestly. I also hear there's gonna be a 1/3 J&D styled Black Widow, which I don't think I could resist that, especially if the likeness is great. Black Widow is definitely one of my greatest crushes in my human existence. You all know I want the Hawkeye quarter scale, and I'd probably get a Doctor Strange if they made that, because I love Doctor Strange. But other than that, I mean, we are going to get the new Superman to replace that one. But this room pretty much is like a done deal. Not much more going to happen in this room. here in the main room, we kind of know the plans. However, if we're stuck in this home and we really need space, the only thing we can do to add space is like one of two things. So technically, I know we've put statues here, it blocks a lot. However, what if you put a shelf just right here going out? So it would block some angles of the AVP display. Like you would only get like this look from over here. So when I walk in the cave, I get to see this epic display, everything down low. And then when I'm walking into the cave, in essence, the shelf would probably end about right here. And it'd just be like an L shape, kind of enclosing this. But you'd have a shelf, in essence, right there. I almost wonder if that would be better than doing a mid-room shelf, which blocks a lot more. So when I'm sitting down, yes, it would block that. However, I am still going to be able to see a Jungle Hunter display and everything else. So it's like, you're only blocking that. Other than that, it isn't blocking anything else. And having access to an entire additional 48-inch wide garage shelf where you could do Celine 1/3 silicone and add some additional statues, that would be super, super sick. So that is something to potentially consider. I mean, Celine 1/3 definitely is coming, regardless of the fact she's going to come. She won't be a space hog, though. But Neytiri bust and Neytiri 1/3, for example, could go on that shelf. They're very tall, very cool. Also jungle themed, which kind of fits into that. But you could do, for example, that on top shelf. Down low, you could fit some whatever I want, really. But that's just one example. I kind of wonder if that would be better, doing that right there. I mean, this is almost the size of a garage shelf. It's 22 inches by like 44, where garage shelf is 24 by 48. But I could try it, like putting a garage shelf there. Obviously, we also have Red Sonja, but I don't think it would be too bad, because I have a lot of shelves where like they go like this. So doing a shelf right here, you'd still be able to see her. But we could definitely gain space. I mean, technically, you could put like Celine down low. Although being silicone, she'll probably be $2,500. She'll need top shelf space. But that is one idea I've kind of toyed with. I'm like, okay, well, we know mid-room just blocks a lot. What about right there? You'd really only be able to do one shelf, one 48-inch wide garage shelf. That would work best, the 48. And then this would be removed entirely, so you still have a big open space, just one shelf here. And most likely, what I would do, if I'm going to add a shelf there, that's going to go right here and block that, it's got to be just bangers. Neytiri bust, the $6,000 one, should be 48 inches tall. And then the 1/3. We do the 1/3 in front of the lichen, then the bust on the left. And then we need some banger statues underneath. Have to have lighting. Ideally, it would need to follow this entire theme because it is connected. So you would want to follow this theme. I mean, there's a few things I could do. I could also throw Pumpkinhead 1/3. That way I gain the space I need to over here next to Candyman to do Hellraiser 1/3, Pinhead. But let's say Pumpkinhead 1/3, which would be fantastic. And the way it's angled, I could have it angled like this and it'd never hit anything. So that's definitely a possibility. Pumpkinhead 1/3. And then, I mean, there's the Syl statue from Species. She looks great and should fit in good next to Red Sonja and Vampirella being a sexy female. So that's just one example. Of course, tons of options. I could do whatever the heck I wanted. But what do you guys think of that? Doing a shelf there. I definitely just have to try it, see what I think. Obviously, like when I'm walking into the cave, I have to walk a little bit longer this way which isn't a huge deal, but blocking wise, it definitely blocks way less, especially from this view, which is where I work. Here's my work laptop where Flankster makes all his money. I'm always looking at statues throughout the entire day. There's no doubt. I'm looking at the AVP wall, the horror wall, the TV wall, Arnold. So I definitely want the coolest looking statues in this room. Neytiri is not necessarily like horror or truly like a scary creature, but I do still feel she fits in the realm of like Hellboy, the Fawn from Pan's Labyrinth. They're not necessarily like, they're a creature and they're kind of scary looking, but Neytiri's like an alien. I feel like she fits better in the Lord of the Rings room, but I could still argue the fact she would fit in good here, because I do think that bust is absolutely insanely cool. Technically, I could also get the new Arnold bust. That add more Terminator outside of the Terminator collection. But yeah, I've been thinking that over there doing a garage shelf is probably my best bet. Anyways, folks, that is it for the video. At the end of the day, I'm trying to get the upstairs bedroom just because I do always try to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And so hoping for the best is a new home. And in the new home, I get 1,000 square more feet. And I probably get the entire Prime 1 Predator line at that point. And it'd definitely be absolutely glorious. Taller ceilings, and it'd be fully customized. It'd be absolutely insane. But if that does not happen, let's just say, I mean, my salary at my new job is insanely good, like so much better than my last job. And the commissions are so much better, at least on paper, but in real life, like let's say a year from now, am I really going to be making the money I was promised? I'm hoping so, but let's just say I'm basing everything off salary and I'm doing very minimal commission. Then staying in this house is probably my best bet. But I can still, at that point, collect very good. But my days are still dwindling considering my space. Or if I got a new home, I could collect the entire Prime 1 Alien and Predator XL line, which would keep me going for the next 8 to 10 years. And taller ceilings would allow me to do 3-tiered shelves, which would allow technically a lot more statues, especially in the video game and Lord of the Rings setup. But yeah, that's kind of the plans. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.